Who is your daddy? I wanted to make this video because, as you may know, I'm trying to explain to people who may not be paying attention so much the difference between Republicans and Democrats, and the difference and why we should really, difference between liberalism and conservatism. But I think one key thing is, who is your daddy? And what I mean by that is, what is the role of government? A lot of times when I talk to people who, about politics, and I hear why they're supporting, Democrat candidates, and why they're supporting, Bernie Sanders, whoever, and then I'll ask them, what do you think the role of government is? And they literally think, government's here to provide for me, to help me, and to, take care of my needs. I remember one guy told me to be there when you need him. And I want to tell you something, that is not why government exists. Government does not exist to be somebody, entity that is like your dad, that takes care of you, that clothes you, that invests for you, and makes sure you're taken care of. That is not what government is supposed to be. Government is supposed to provide basic needs. And let me explain what that is. If you want to know the proof of that, it's the Constitution of the United States. So I'll read just the beginning of it, and it says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." So the Constitution, it describes what the government's for and what is the point of the government, and this is, this is the beginning, the kind of like introduction to that. And what is it for? It is to create, establish justice. So we have a justice system that our government should be in charge of, right? That's good. Secure domestic tranquility. A police force. A society that's running with some type of order, right? Provide them a common defense, a military, a common defense for our borders and things like that, and promote the general welfare. The general welfare, meaning that we don't just have people just starving to death in our nation. We shouldn't have people, just, not. I mean, obviously we have homeless people, but you know, generally speaking, there's programs and there's stuff to help you not just live on the streets and die on the streets. General welfare. So I have to kind of get through this real quick, and I think this is probably longer than a 4 5 minute video. But who is your daddy? So, the role of government is to be very, very small. I like what Rand Paul said a couple of debates ago. I want a government really, really small that you can barely see it. Because if government is big, meaning then it starts to control your life. Do you want a government that is like your dad, telling you what you could buy, where you could go, how much you can make, how much you can't make, how much you have to give away? Do you want a government that's in control of your life? Because when you look at the Democratic Party, you look at the left's platform, they literally want an all powerful government. Literally, what you think of like Hunger Games or any movie that like the government's in control, that is what liberals actually dream about in one sense, or at least they're heading towards. They don't know, because that's what happens when you let government grow, grow, grow. Okay, um, and you don't want government to do that. You don't want them to be your dad, right? Because if they're your dad, they control you, right? What you want is a government to protect your personal property, to be a force that protects your personal property, to make sure that they are out of the way for you to make your own way in your own life. And so, you want a government that is providing the basics needs. Of course, I want a military. Yes, I want, roads, I guess, and I want, a police force, the basic stuff, or a fire department. But I don't need you to be nitpicking my whole life. I would like to have space of that. And that's the point of freedom and prosperity, the freedom and prosperity. Now, for example, when I talk to people about like, hey, I'm a big Ted Cruz guy, I want you guys to support Ted Cruz. I'll just be real, a lot of black people or whoever I'm talking to, which is normally that, ask me, well, what is Ted going to do for me? Or what's Ted going to do for us? And I go, nothing. See, he's not like the left that's going to make all these empty promises of what they're going to do for the community. And actually, if you think about it, the Democrat Party only has made the black community worse. We've been in their pocket for the last 30 years. We haven't had anything better from being with them. But what I say is he's going to fight for the rule of law, for the Constitution, to lower your taxes, to provide, to shrink government so that you have the opportunity to be successful, that you have the opportunity to go forth. He's not promising any magical formula or any free stuff for you. He's promising that he's gonna the rule of law, which we should all want. He wants to get rid of cronyism. He wants to get rid of Washington cronyism from the top to the bottom. So we want fairness. So I think that if you begin as young people, whoever's watching this, view government different. It's not about what they're going to do for you. It's really about what little they can do. Because the more they do for you, the more they can control you. And what is the role of government? Are they your daddy? Don't let the government be your daddy. Don't vote for the government to be your daddy. All right. See you guys in a minute.